please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
All right, so let's talk about the trade conflict between the world's two largest economies, the US and China. It is set to escalate. The Trump administration, they've decided to impose a tariff of 25% on Chinese imports worth up to $50 billion. The Chinese government did not take this lying down, and China has now announced retaliatory tariffs on $34 billion worth of US goods. That includes agricultural products. Okay, then let's stay with the tariff. The trade rift between India and United States of America is set to widen almost 4 months after the United States imposed additional tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from a handful of countries that included India. The Indian government has decided to go ahead with retaliatory tariffs against several American products. The new tariffs likely to come into effect from the 21st of this month. Our colleague Rituparna Bhuyan joins us with exclusive details. Ritu, what are you picking up about India's plan?
On May 18th, India had told the WTO that it is planning to increase import duties targeting US products. On 21st of June, India will be going ahead and imposing this country-specific duty. So why is India retaliating? That's because US had increased duties on iron and aluminium, and India maintains that this is not consistent to WTO rules and will cause loss to Indian exporters. How much loss will India incur? According to India's WTO filing, it is $31 billion for steel, and for aluminium, it is $134 million. And through this retaliatory tariff, India will seek to recover this loss. Let's take a quick look at the additional tariff that India proposes to impose on 21st of June. For example, motorcycles, good vehicles, golf carts, snowmobiles. On that, around 50% duty will be imposed. On chocolate products, cocoa, coffee, 10% duty will be imposed. Walnuts, almonds, several agriculture products are also in the list. Meanwhile, India and US trade diplomats will meet by the end of this month to discuss trade-related issues that both the countries have been having, and it is expected that both countries will also have parleys on the duties that was imposed by US on steel and aluminium, as well as India's retaliatory tariffs.
All right, thanks for that, Rituparna. In fact, even as India plans to go ahead with retaliatory tariffs against the United States, Commerce Minister Suresh Prabhu is still hopeful of a resolution of the trade standoff through dialogue. Listen in.
Our meeting with USTR went off extremely well. We already decided to put all these issues behind and make a substantial progress into the trade and commerce. For that, the officers' meeting will take place very soon. Their people will come, we'll also go there, and we'll have a meeting to discuss about all the issues, pending issues.
On to some corporate action now. Our very own Anshu Sharma caught up with JSPL chairman Naveen Jindal, asked him about the expansion plans for the company, and here's a slice of that conversation.
Maybe after 3-4 years, once we have paid majority of our debt, and we would like to expand, but not borrowing. We would not like to borrow just from our internal accruals. In the future, once we are able to expand, then we will definitely like to do that. This location itself, we can easily build a 12 million ton steel plant here in Angul in Odisha. And this is very close to the port also, and there's plenty of iron ore here. So if there is a requirement, if we have to reach 300 million tons of capacity, definitely JSPL will be a major player and will play its role.
Okay, since you have assets abroad, you have a power business and you have a steel business, do you have any plan to demerge these businesses?
Yes, we have been advised by many people that presently JSPL has a very sizable power in it. JSPL has more than 5,000 megawatt power capacity in it. So it always, it's a natural thing for people to advise us that steel business should be separate and power business should be separate. So we are considering in the future, we are evaluating the various options, and after taking all the due approvals and taking all the stakeholders' view on board, we will like to do that in the future.
Considering in the background we have a power plant and coal shortage is the current issue, how is it? Because captive power producers say they are facing shortage of coal. Independent power producers also say that they are facing the shortage of coal supply. How is it working for you?
So there is a severe shortage of coal domestically. So all our steel plants, wherever we need coal. Most of the steel plants we are running on 90% imported coal. And for power generation, we are able to get coal. There is crisis, it's very expensive. I hope that Coal India will increase its production because really there is no reason why there should be shortage.
All right, considering demerger of power and steel business, that's the big story coming in from JSPL. But let's move on now. The latest in the Nirav Modi PNB scam probe. Sources tell us that India has sought information from the United Kingdom on whether Nirav Modi was in the country. And so far, UK has neither confirmed nor denied the development. However, in a response to another request by India, UK is believed to have shared a list of Nirav Modi's assets in the country. In fact, Nirav Modi seems to have shut one of his stores after the exchange of that list. Sanjay Suri has filed this report.
A couple of issues around timing here. On the 19th of February, the Indian government informed the British that Nirav Modi's passport has been revoked. Shortly after that, it followed up with a request for information on his assets in the UK, which was supplied by the Serious Fraud Office. In the days and weeks immediately following, Nirav Modi's store appears to have shut down on Old Bond Street. Clearly, it would make so much more sense for him to capitalize on his assets rather than risk having them seized. This follows the opening of the store in the first place in September 2016. Again, a very significant issue about timing. By then, Nirav Modi would have known that this whole cycle of loans with PNB was unsustainable. He opened this store in London after opening stores in New York and in Hong Kong. And this expansion, this investment overseas is tied very closely with visa regimes and opening the doors and opening new possibilities for visas and the right to stay in another jurisdiction. In Britain, you can invest £2 million, invest that is in government bonds, not even spend, and get a right immediately to stay for 3 years and 4 months. For anyone investing 10 million, you can get settlement within 2 years. So really you can buy your way to settlement in another jurisdiction, and this is another aspect that is being examined now by authorities. Whether he has a right to stay on the basis of this investment in Britain and in other jurisdiction where he is invested, for example, the US, Hong Kong. We also hear of a Singaporean passport from another jurisdiction. So a lot of these passports can be purchased, and the right to stay in another country can also be bought.
All right, and staying with the Punjab National Bank's case, the news seems to be tightening around Nirav Modi's relative Mehul Choksi as well. Sources from the Enforcement Directorate tell CNBC TV18 that they will soon be writing to the Interpol to seek a red corner notice against Mehul Choksi. Utkarsh Chaturvedi, our colleague, joins us with more details. Utkarsh, what are you picking up?
Two important piece of information coming from our sources in the Enforcement Directorate. The first one is that ED has started the process of writing to the Interpol seeking a red corner notice against Mehul Choksi. Now remember that ED has to file a charge sheet before they really write to Interpol, and at this point of time it is next week that ED will be filing the charge sheet in the Mehul Choksi case. CBI already has written to Interpol regarding seeking a red corner notice against Mehul Choksi. Now the logic behind the two RCNs separately is to make the case stronger. But the second more important thing which is coming is, unlike the ambiguity on the location of Nirav Modi, our sources in Enforcement Directorate believe that they have tracked down Mehul Choksi. Our sources tell us that they believe that Mehul Choksi is in the United States of America, and once they get done with the whole process of writing to Interpol and then RCN getting issued, they will get in touch with US authorities as well to really fast track the process of getting Mehul Choksi back. So two important piece of information. Second RCN, one by CBI, already issued against Mehul Choksi. Second RCN after ED filed the charge sheet next week. And also, ED believes they have tracked down Mehul Choksi in the United States of America.
All right, Utkarsh, thanks a lot for that. Trust you to deliver all the developments in that case very soon. With that, let's move on to the next one. We have Myntra, with FY17 losses actually reducing from 25% to 655 crores against about 823 crores last year. Flipkart's fashion business, Myntra, they're looking to not only expand their offline presence, but also aiming to bring in 1/3 of its revenues from the private label business of the company. Our colleague Rukmini Rao caught up with the CEO to find out the roadmap for the business for the coming year.
at this point we have 4 mango stores. We have 2 roadster stores. But this is just the beginning. This is the year where we're starting. We have 2 roadster stores. But this is just the beginning. This is the year where we're starting to scale. So there'll be 15 roadster stores by the end of this year and 50 in the end of 2 years. And Mango will be about 25 stores and S3 will be another 15, right? So we'll have a fair number of stores. And then there are a couple of other private brands where we're going to start stores. The stores for us actually do 2 things. One, it helps us refine our omni-channel experience. 2 is it helps with branding, right? In the roadster store, one of the things that's actually happened is, when it's our first store, the stores actually turn EBITDA profitable in about 12 months. So they operationally break even. Post that, what happens is online sales actually increase whenever you have an offline presence, which is really the big deal for us because it increases the brand presence of a roadster or a Mango or whatever else, right? So that's really, so the stores are doing great.
But also in terms of your own private labels, if you can give us a sense of, you know, how many, where they stand at, and also in terms of the growth that you spoke about last year, what is that looking like this year?
So overall, continuing to do very well. So if you remember last year, the overall private brand portfolio was about 24-25%.
Correct.
This year we're aiming for 27-28%, so it'll increase the overall share.
So about 1/3 of your business?
1/3 of our business will be private brands. And we're really continuing to build them as brands, not just labels. Overall, the platform continues to grow between 40 and 50%, and the private labels obviously will grow faster because the share actually is going to increase as well. So doing very well. It's also a big driver for us in terms of just creating exclusivity, right? Because this is not available anywhere else. So doing very well.
Sure. I'll have to ask you this question, Anant, in terms of, you know, the integration of Walmart and perhaps the capability of such a big brick and mortar giant coming on board. What does it really mean for you? And in terms of your learning, perhaps, you know, the kind of expansion that you're looking at, and also fashion as a segment for Walmart, what does it mean?
So, look, I think the Walmart is a long-term strategic investor in us. I think the businesses, whether it's Myntra, Jabong, or it's Flipkart or PhonePe, are going to be continued to run independently. So I don't think anything changes as far as our strategy is concerned. As far as omni-channel is concerned, I think there's a lot we can learn from, right? The world's largest retailer. So there's obviously going to be lessons learned, and that we'll see at the appropriate time.
But also in terms of the huge capital infusion that we might end up seeing, which they've already committed to, will you know, Myntra and Jabong being the fastest growing segment of Flipkart, will you see a fair share of it coming for you as well?
So look, I think we've never been capital constrained because I think, you know, in the Flipkart group there's always been funding for good businesses and good business ideas. I expect that to continue.
All right then, time now for a short break, but as we do that, we leave you with SkyMet's weather report for the day.
Hi, this is Fawzia. Welcome to SkyMet Weather Report. Let us have a look at the weather across the country on Saturday. Beginning with north, a cyclonic circulation can be seen over central Pakistan, and a trough is running from this system up to Assam, bringing light to moderate rain and thunder showers over Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Scattered rains are also likely over Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and parts of Haryana. Delhi NCR also stands a chance of isolated showers. Meanwhile, in east and northeastern states, another cyclonic circulation can be seen over Assam, and a trough is extending from this system up to west central Bay of Bengal. This would cause moderate to heavy rains over the northeastern states, particularly in the flood-hit regions of Assam, Tripura and Mizoram. Similarly, sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim and the foothills of East Uttar Pradesh and Bihar will also see scattered showers. In central region, it looks like hot and dry weather would persist on account of hot northwesterly winds blowing across the region. Down south, light to moderate rain with 1 or 2 heavy spells can be expected over Kerala, coastal Karnataka and South Konkan. North Konkan, including Mumbai, will also stand a chance of light to moderate showers. Let's look at the temperatures. Delhi would remain hot with a maximum of 40 degrees Celsius and minimum 32 degrees Celsius. With rains and offing, the day temperature in Mumbai would be 33 degrees Celsius and night temperature 27. With some clouds, Kolkata will have a maximum of 37 and minimum of 28 degrees Celsius. That's it. Wrapping up. For more updates, stay tuned to skymetweather.com.
Welcome back. This is Business Saturday. Let's move on to some national news then. The morning of Eid has actually turned gloomy with massive stone pelting underway in the Jungleat Mandi, Anantnag between youth and security forces. Srinagar is also witnessing clashes between the youth and the CRPF. This stone pelting and the clashes began before the Eid prayers. Youth took to the streets and started stone pelting on the security forces who were deployed to maintain law and order duty in Anantnag. Security forces resorted with tear gas and smoke shells. Meanwhile, Pakistan breached its truce by violating ceasefire yet again in Arnia sector and then later in Naushera in Rajouri. One army Jawan martyred. And down south, heavy rains continue in Kerala as the death toll mounts to 43 in a span of 2 weeks. The government has issued a red alert in Kozhikode and adjoining areas in view of heavy rains, which may continue till June 18th. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has directed authorities to disburse compensation to the flood-affected areas of the state. And with matches yesterday, let's also now shift focus to the two big matches later tonight. Another favourite to lift this year's World Cup, France, will take on the Socceroos. France, led by an attacking triumvirate of Griezmann, Mbappe and Pogba, should take all 3 points against Australia, whilst four-time Ballon d'Or winner Lionel Messi will be looking to inspire Argentina to victory against Iceland at the Spartak Stadium in Moscow. Iceland, remember, is a country with one of the smallest populations to be playing this year's World Cup. In all probability, this will be Messi's last chance to win a World Cup, and the Argentine talisman is taking nothing for granted against the World Cup minnows who surprised one and all during the Euro 2016. All right, so all eyes will be on the football matches in Russia. But with that, we've run out of time on this episode of Business Saturday. But as we wrap up on the show, remember, CNBC TV18 once again wishes all our viewers Eid Mubarak. May peace, prosperity and happiness be upon you and your family.